Hi, my name is Linda Penman, and I'd like to share with you why I love Jesus so much. I was raised as an only child in a pretty dysfunctional home. I don't ever really remember my parents encouraging me in anything or ever really saying the words "I love you" to me. For a short period of time, I lived with my grandparents, and they were the ones that first took me to church and told me about God. But that didn't last, because when we moved out, I lost that as well. Growing up was very hard for me because I always seemed to have an empty spot in my life. I was always looking for something that would make life on earth a little bit easier to deal with. When I graduated from high school, shortly afterwards, I met the man I was going to marry, and in 1967, we were married and we had 2 children. Now, I thought this was going to be my prince. He was going to rescue me and we were going to live happily ever after. That didn't happen. My daughter was diagnosed as being challenged. Our son had some real difficult emotional problems to deal with, and my marriage was in the tank. And I couldn't understand why or what I had done to deserve all this. Somewhere down the road, I want to say it was around 1981 or 82. I had a very dear friend who had prayed for me for such a long time, and she eventually led me to Christ. After some hesitation, I did start attending church, and I'd like to say that life got a whole lot better, but that's not what happened. There still wasn't a happily ever after story. But what I did find was it got a little simpler. The things that bothered me, when I prayed about them, they weren't so bad. When I asked God for help, they got easier. Somewhere down the road in 2000, I want to say 2008, my family started attending Church of the Rock. And this is where I really found out how much I loved God and what He was going to mean in my life. In 2011, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And when the doctors diagnosed me, I remember going home and asking God if it was in His will that He would heal me and not let me go through this. But if it wasn't His will, I prayed that He'd give me the grace to go through that. I was diagnosed stage 2 breast cancer. I had a double mastectomy and went through 4 months of chemotherapy. During that time, God never left me. He was always by my side. I was never alone in it. The only thing I had to do was open my heart to Him. Now, I need to take a breath. I know if God had healed me, I would have been robbed of many blessings that I never dreamt I would have. I would have never known what it was to trust. I would never have known what it was to believe. I would never have known what it was to turn my life over to Him. He opened doors for me that I never thought I would walk through. I would like to encourage anyone out there that if you hear anything in my story that makes you want to know Jesus a little more personally, ask Him into your life. Don't wait. God wants to do more than just teach you how to live on this earth and exist. He wants to prepare you for the hope of eternity with Him forever. God bless you.